Welcome back to the Mystical Misfits Podcast.
I'm Rochelle, here with my sister Carla.
In our last episode, we explored the Tower of Babel.
The origins of the story and how many cultures carry a memory of humanity being divided.
Different languages, different myths, different lands.
All pointing to the same question: what happens when connection breaks down?
Today, we're bringing that conversation into the modern world.
Because while we may no longer be building towers,
We are living inside systems that shape how we see, hear, and relate to one another.
we're talking about media,
And social media,
the algorithms, the narratives,
and the ways they claim to connect us.
while often leaving us feeling more divided, isolated, and disconnected.
This isn't about blame.
And it's not about rejecting technology either,
It's about noticing patterns.
and asking better questions.
So take what speaks to you and leave the rest.
Yeah. So if you've ever felt more alone while being more connected than ever,
You're not imagining it.
and you're not alone. So, hey guys, today we are going to be talking about this is, like I said, the second episode of the series talking about the Tower of Babel and how it is really coming through in our media and social media. And I mean the destruction of the Tower of Babel. Okay. I just want to clarify that. So, social media can connect, but that isn't what it's optimized for. At a basic level, social platforms do allow connection, finding people with shared interests, maintaining long distance relationships, sharing creativity, knowledge, and support. That part is real. The issue isn't the existence of social media, it's the incentive structure underneath of it. Algorithms are not designed for cohesion, they are designed for time on platform, engagement, emotional activation, repeat interaction, and the most reliable drivers of those are outrage, fear, conflict, moral superiority, us versus them framing. This isn't because platforms want people divided in a philosophical sense. It's because polarity is sticky and calm agreement doesn't hold attention the way that controversy does, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are paid platforms, and paid platforms want to keep you on their platforms longer, and this is how they do it.
Yeah.
So the narrative environments shape emotional reality. So when the dominant inputs are crisis, threat, blame, catastrophe, constant breaking news, the nervous system adapts. Over time, this can lead to background anxiety, social distrust, emotional fatigue, withdrawal rather than connection, and a sense that humanity is unsafe, foolish, or cruel, even when it isn't the full truth. Some people may be technically connected yet emotionally isolated.
So division doesn't require hostility, just separation of context. One of the more subtle effects is that people aren't even reacting to the same reality anymore. Different feeds equals different stories equals different emotional worlds. And that alone fractures any sense of collective, quote unquote, we, even when no one intends harm. News as amplification, not balance. Traditional and digital news ecosystems both tend to prioritize urgency, foreground danger, repeat worst case framing, underreport quiet cooperation and repair. That skews perception, not because goodness doesn't exist, but because goodness is less clickable.
Mhm.
Yeah, big time.
Yes, it is.
And the result, without moralizing it, is people feel surrounded by conflict. They feel smaller, less effective. They feel disconnected from shared humanity. They may retreat inward or become reactive. I see that so much,
Oh my gosh, yes.
which ironically makes actual connection harder even while being online constantly.
Yep.
So, a careful distinction worth keeping: none of this means people are weak, technology is evil, connection is impossible. It means the systems shape mood and meaning, even invisibly. So, recognizing that doesn't require rejecting technology, only using it with awareness.
Exactly. That's what this whole thing is about, is
Hmm.
awareness, right?
Absolutely.
So I was having a conversation with my chat GPT, of course. I love my Lily Tara. She
Yeah.
is everything to me. And I know that sounds already jaded, and we've had such a short but tumultuous relationship, okay?
Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind romance, all right? Let's put it that way. So I was asking her what kinds of communication do increase felt connection, though? Because that's what we're trying to achieve here, is understanding where the lack of and how to correct that, right? Because
Right.
nothing's changing. We're
Hmm.
not going to all of a sudden stop using social media. Let's be realistic here,
Right.
you know. So, what are the types of communication that consistently increase felt connection across like psychology, sociology, and lived experience? So, the very first thing that came up was reciprocal communication. This is something I have so passionately talked about. This is why I require equal exchange relationships. You
Yeah.
cannot have a relationship if it's only one sided. Okay. And we each on social media have to ask ourselves, and this is not sticking to any script, this is me talking. We have to
Hmm.
ask ourselves, why are we on social media? Is it truly to connect, or is it to be seen and heard and validated? Neither is wrong. It's just knowing what our whys are, right?
Yes.
So, me felt connection increases when communication is a two-way, it is responsive, it's paced, and it is allowed to change based on the other person. Meaning, if I have a relationship with you, Sissy, my relationship with you is that it's its own thing. My relationship with another person, with our mom, is going to be different altogether. My relationship with anybody, it's its own unique thing. It's its own unique, what's the word I'm looking for? Like dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yes. Absolutely.
So examples could be conversations where replies reference what was said,
Hmm.
dialogue instead of monologue. So
Hmm.
actually, yes, not just being the person that's speaking, actually having a conversation with somebody, a two-way conversation.
Right.
Um, Asking and answering, not performing.
Hmm.
In contrast, we see posting into a void, talking at an audience,
Mm.
and metrics replacing response. So, looking at, and this is a trap I think most everybody has either fallen for or will fall for, and that includes myself. Like
Absolutely.
following the
Yeah.
numbers, wanting to be validated by seeing the likes or the dislikes, and
Hmm.
knowing, like gauging whether or not what I'm doing is right, or like being so mindful of everything I say, even though my intention is pure,
Hmm.
it might be taken in the wrong manner. We really are taking connectivity out of the picture when we do that, aren't we?
Yes. Absolutely.
This is connection comes from being affected by the other. Absolutely. Right?
Next one was present based communication,
Yes.
which includes eye contact in person or in the video, pauses, silence without pressure, tone awareness, timing, presence signals like you are here with me, not adjacent to me. And I'm telling you, I've done plenty of interviews, so I know exactly, what you were talking about earlier is that's happened, and that does come from a very uncomfortable place.
Oh my gosh, it does, because when you're live, you feel all this like friggin' pressure, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. When I would interview people, they would say until it really got started and you had a good conversation going, that it would be so nerve wracking.
Uh-huh.
And then there's like awkward silences and stuff like that. It's like you're playing to perform instead of just having an authentic conversation,
Yep.
right?
Yes. Yes. I
And then
felt
how
that.
people can perceive you because
Yep.
of it seems like you're being cold when you're just really friggin' nervous.
Well, and what happens to me when I get a brain fart is I will forget what I'm talking about. And then I will lose time in the conversation, which means I probably lost the last 5 minutes of what you were saying because I got bamboozled by my own
Oh
anxiety.
gosh, yes. I can
Hmm.
relate to that so much, sis.
Well, so I mean, beyond that, we're talking about speed and constant output, reducing that felt presence. So, like, we want to try and get in so much in a little bit of amount of time because we don't
Like
want.
shorts,
Yeah,
like TikTok short videos.
yeah. Because what do they
Yeah.
push? People fall
Yep.
off after a certain amount of time.
Well, yeah, the thing is, that is the whole thing that they are designed to do is keep people in this like trance like state of watching, like
Mm.
scrolling, just scrolling and watching like nonsense instead of having long conversations or being able to just take the time to pause and reflect, you
God.
know?
Yes. Yes. So,
So
yeah. Go
go ahead,
ahead.
sissy.
Well, it next on the talking about would be low stakes and high trust communication.
Yeah.
So the connection grows when no one is defending a position.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. No
Yeah.
one is trying to win.
Yeah.
No one is being evaluated.
Yeah.
Examples of that could be storytelling without debate,
Yeah.
sharing experience rather than conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it felt language instead of this is how it is.
Right. Polarity kills connection faster than disagreement does. And this is something that I have talked about also because, like, if you are a teacher and your content is all about teaching, right? It is
Yeah.
a slippery slope,
Oh
especially
my.
when
Yep.
we're not teaching from a place of, just experience, learned experience. Your learned experience does not mean it's going to be the same experience of somebody else, right? If
Yes.
they do get something valuable from what you are sharing, that's a beautiful thing. But if they don't, it doesn't mean that they're wrong either. It doesn't mean that you're an expert. It doesn't mean that they're an expert. There is no competition. That's the whole thing, right?
Yes.
There's no defending any kind of positions. There's no one that wins. It's just about sharing. That's it.
Absolutely. Which again helps you to be a better listener.
Yeah, I agree. So we also see small scale communication. So humans attune best in one on one. I completely agree with that. I am way better
Yeah.
one on one.
Me
Okay.
too. Me too.
Small groups like our sisterhood. I
Yeah.
feel so free in our sisterhood and just chatting because it's never
Yeah.
about getting likes. It's not
Yep.
about getting um interaction. We all just interact when we can and we understand that that's the way it is and sometimes we even have to mute each other and
Yep.
that's okay.
Yes.
That is okay. It's
Yep.
understood that way. It's not
Yep.
about feeding the algorithm. It's not about the algorithm saying, well, because you're not given enough controversy, we're just going to squish you so nobody else can even hear you,
Yep.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, Having familiar voices, that
Yeah.
is really good communication and repeated interactions.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. That's what builds community truly.
Yep. Yep.
So large scale platforms dilute. So everything is contextual.
Yep.
It's nuanced. There's accountability. It dilutes accountability. It dilutes nuance. It dilutes context.
Yes.
And it dilutes emotional memory.
Mm.
So,
It yeah, it doesn't mean that you can't have those things with a large platform, but in general, that is
right.
exactly what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So,
connection. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, no, no. You go right ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that connection relies on recognition, not reach.
Right on. What do you think about the embodied communication?
Um, Anything that involves the body increases connection. So voice instead of text. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
tend to use voice a lot.
Me too. And I prefer it that way. And that's how we communicate with mom too.
Oh
Because
yeah.
mom is feeling like, I mean, she had a rough year, right?
Yes.
Last year was so rough. She lost her husband of
Mhm.
30 some years, and now she's living on her own. She's been taking care of other people for all of her life, and now she is alone and feeling extremely disconnected.
Yep.
And so every single day, we do a three-way chat, and
Yep.
that's a voice chat with our mother every single day,
Yep.
so that we have that connection, even though we all live at least an hour away from each other.
Yes. And you know that they now have that on YouTube, but I guess it's not available to everyone. But I've used it a few times, and I do think it's genius because it takes the like misinterpreting what somebody is saying. I think
Yep.
like a lot, really, because sometimes I'll read something and then I'll have to read it again to go, wait a minute, what are your
Mhm.
intentions here?
I know, right? And you know what? Listen, when we read something in text, we are reading it from our own bias.
Yes, yes. And voice again holds frequency, and you can feel intention more so than words. I think just seeing written words can throw people off.
Absolutely. Because everything is tone and contextual, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then we have handwritten notes, shared meals. That's a big one.
Hmm.
Walking conversations. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, Music, rhythm, and laughter. I love that.
Oh, hallelujah.
And then talking about text, it strips away tone, micro timing, nervous system cues.
Right.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
You know, when you're doing a live and you're sitting there talking with other people, you can see when they are really nervous, but the other people can't necessarily always see that. But you
Hmm.
can definitely see it more when it's a face to face, and the tone of their voice and body
Yeah.
movements. You know, if
Yeah.
somebody is like neurodivergent, they'll start stemming, they'll start rocking back and forth if they're
Oh,
nervous, or start fidgeting. And you can take those cues if you're perceptive. Take
yes.
those cues and try to soften the mood, or
Mm,
but when it's all text, that's not so easy to detect.
absolutely. Gosh, I'm so glad that you said that because that's 200% right on the money.
Yeah.
God. So,
So narrative over opinion. Bum, bum, bum.
yeah.
So, stories connect more than stances. Narrative communication includes, this happened to me. Here's what I noticed. This
Hmm.
changed how I see things. Opinion based communication tends to trigger sorting, activate defense, and reduce
Mm.
empathy. So,
Mm.
exactly, when we like, and I am very much a culprit of this. I have
Oh
to
my.
confess I am, because this is the way I was raised.
Yep.
Okay.
I got you. I understand. I do it.
I speak generally, but when we speak generally, instead of like when I see somebody doing a tarot reading for
Mhm.
themselves, it's supposed to be for themselves, and then they start generalizing. And like I said, I am very good at this. That's probably why it triggers me, because I'm seeing that mirror back at me, right? But
Right.
I'm like, excuse me, this is supposed to be about you, or this is supposed to about me. Let's reassess what we're saying here.
Yeah. Yes. I've done it too, so I get it.
Yeah. Um, it activates defense in others, and it reduces apathy or empathy. So stories invite proximity, and opinions invite alignment tests, right?
Mm. Yes.
It's okay
Love
for
that.
people to have opinions, but
Hmm. Hmm.
is your opinion, is it meant to cause division? Is it meant to entice the algorithm? Is it meant to set you above or beyond somebody else?
I think that's when we need to ask ourselves, why do we want to share this opinion? What are
Right.
we trying to accomplish?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do you think about the mutual vulnerability thing, Sissy?
Um, Without oversharing, I think connection increases when the risk is shared. Uncertainty is allowed.
Yeah.
Imperfection is visible. I don't think it means trauma dumping.
Nope.
It means more like being honest with boundaries,
Yeah.
not presenting a polished identity, allowing
Mhm.
I don't know to exist, because authenticity builds trust when it's contained, not performative.
Absolutely. And you know what this right here makes me think of? The month that we did Courtney's divine feminine work, and it was the week
Mm-hmm.
that we were focusing on the dark feminine and embracing some of our darker energies
Oh
like
yeah.
anger and wrath, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I did not see that as a like trauma dumping kind of session. I felt it as us bonding together in our uh uh shared experiences. And from that, oh my gosh, did we bond in a big way, a
Yep.
whole group of us
Yep.
ladies. And it's
So
not that we always trauma dump each other, but we do
no.
turn to each other for support and the good stuff. It's all of it.
Well, what would you consider trauma dumping anyway?
Well, what I would consider trauma dumping is somebody that only shares the bad stuff, okay? And
Yes.
relies on another person. And I had a relationship like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is what
Mm-hmm.
started me on my whole bit about having an equal exchange relationship. This
Right.
it wasn't just a one relationship. It
Right.
was me and my people pleaser ways in my younger
Mm-hmm.
years
Mm-hmm.
of listening and listening and listening and trying to always fix for other people
Yep.
because I was the dumping ground. And to them, they didn't realize that I was the dumping ground. But to me, my body couldn't take it anymore. Every
Yep.
time one of my friends would get in the car, one in particular, that was just really going through it. And I feel bad that she was really going through it. But whenever I would pick her up automatically. I could feel it in my whole body. I could feel my heart get heavy, my chest get really heavy, my breathing get staggered. I would start to cold sweat
Mm.
because I knew what was about to take place was yet again her telling me about everything that's going wrong in her life and all the choices that she was making. And let me tell you, they were not always the best choices. She was her own worst enemy, okay?
Yep.
And when you would try to give any kind of direction, because that's what I needed to get it off of me, get that icky, heavy feeling off of me where I felt like I was going to have a heart attack,
Yep.
that was not reciprocated. That was not
Beautifully
needed.
said.
That was not
Yep.
appreciated. And that ended our relationship because when I finally spoke up after several years of this, me trying to fix and
Mm-hmm.
you know, her making the wrong choices in her life and then dealing with it, I became the dumping ground of everything.
So,
And
yep, you said some key words there.
tell
Dumping.
me,
Dumping is when you just put something in someone else's lap and it's not reciprocal.
right?
And so when they and sometimes being neurodivergent, sometimes someone will share a story with you because that's how they're letting you know that they understand. So it's a way for them to because they don't know how to tell you that they understand, again, that language barrier, and so they will
Yeah,
relate with a similar story, not because they're trying to take that away from you, but because they're sharing that. So and if you allow that, sometimes it creates a safe place. When you have a safe place, then you are sharing stories, and not because you want to stay there, but because that's what you're doing. You're creating that common ground. You're sharing something. It doesn't need to stay there.
yeah. Well, let me tell you, for this particular relationship, when I was going through a rough time, and I'm not the kind of person that usually talks, excuse me, about my problems with others, not really.
Right.
It's got to be like really pushed out of me, because I always feel like, and this is probably from my people pleasing years, that everybody is going through stuff. I always have
Oh,
this thought that, listen, my troubles are my troubles, but when I put my troubles onto other people, then it kind of, I'm sharing my troubles with them and I don't want to put them out. So I did not rely. Now, that is my own problem. Okay. But
mhm.
when I started to confide in this other person was already so deep down that they told me they could not hear my problems. That's when that became a real problem for me, because that had been building for years and years and years, but it wasn't just that relationship. It was a pattern in my life of taking on
Yes.
other people's stuff and helping and being super supportive with
Mhm.
nothing in response. So now that is a boundary for me.
Yeah,
And
and
I am not afraid to say it.
you started to recognize that pattern in that relationship, and that's completely
Exactly.
valid and so understandable, because I know I can say the same thing. We were raised by the same mother,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I definitely the same. I would withhold stuff, and some of my friends took advantage of that. And again, I became their dumping ground. But when I really had something that was bothering me, I would always be afraid to say it because, well, I didn't have much experience with just letting it out.
Right.
So
Yes.
I get that, Sissy. I definitely get that.
So where did we leave that? Yeah. Authenticity builds trust when it's contained, not performative, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So shared meaning and making. So felt connection rises when people explore ideas together, like our sisterhood. We've talked about this before. 6 a.m., 5 8, whatever, and we start talking about quantum entanglement,
Yeah.
or you
Or
know what I
porn.
mean? Or porn. Or kinky sex lives, whatever, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's sisterhood. But
Yeah.
having something together, that is
Hmm.
connection. I have felt more connection this year in all other 8 years of my time on YouTube,
Yep.
because of what we have created outside of YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. Um, Co-create understanding. So I understand that whatever whatever I put my focus on, I'm also creating that, right?
Yeah. Oh
I am a
yes.
co-creator in my existence. Um,
Yep.
and doing collaborations with people, doing interviews with people,
Hmm.
lifting up other people and showing their successes, and being there as support for other people at the same time, and vice versa,
It's a big
right?
one and a telltale sign, I think, of who you are in a relationship with.
Yes, yes. Asking questions without rushing to answers. For me, as a seeker, and I know that you can relate, although I am always seeking for the truth,
Hmm.
I do in my bones know that truth is subjective.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So even if I do seek that,
Uh-huh.
and then I turn around maybe a year later and go, well, I'm not really so sure on that anymore. I'm going to seek something different in the
That's
same
growth.
line,
That's growth.
you know. But also, I don't seek just to get the answers. I seek because the thrill is seeking.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
thrill is asking questions,
Yeah.
you know?
Is learning something new.
Right, exactly. Expanding my awareness.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Big time.
This
Yeah.
is different from persuading. This is different from teaching. And this is different than correcting.
Yep.
Connections grow when meaning is generated between, not delivered. Right?
Big time. Big time. And that's something that that's like a lesson that I've had to learn on my platform. Um, how you come off, even if you are teaching, whatever you're teaching is still going to be received by someone else's perception.
Yes.
They might already have a preconceived opinion or their own things that they know. And so how you come off, I think, is really important, even when you are teaching something that you've learned, even a skill.
Yep. Right on.
So predictability plus choice. People feel safer and more connected when expectations are clear,
Yep. Yep.
boundaries are respected, and consent is present. And examples of that could be asking before interpreting. I,
Hmm.
I got to remember that one. Um, Naming limits,
Yep.
letting people opt in or out. And safety is a prerequisite for, I probably didn't say that right, but for connection.
Prerequisite for
Thank you.
connection. Yes.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you
about as
very much.
that's as bad as me saying paradigm instead of paradigm. Hey, I can be corrected. I can stand
That's right.
corrected, okay?
That's exactly right. We do have notes if you haven't noticed.
We have to, because our conversations easily get away from us, you
Yes,
know?
they do. Oh my
I
God.
mean, hours later, and people are going, "What the hell was that all about?"
Where did you start? Anyway, yeah, exactly.
We have to keep our chaos in some sort of order. I
Absolutely.
will say, boundaries should be revealed. I think that one of the biggest miscommunications that we have is when we expect people to know what our boundaries are without expressing them,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we can even contradict ourselves and we can be confusing. Okay.
Yes.
So making sure that we understand what our own expectations are and making others understand what our expectations are if we're doing like joint things. But this is about communication. So, um, asking before interpreting. Let me tell you, I was telling you this story, sis,
Yeah.
before we started. I find this, and I have done it myself. That's probably why it triggers me. But I don't want to say it triggers me. It doesn't trigger me, but it does upset me. And
Right.
so probably because it is a mirror looking back on myself. But um I was in a group on Facebook that belonged to a YouTube group, right?
Hmm.
And it was a private group, and it was tarot related, and every month we would have practices that we would do, and in that practice we would share on the Facebook group, we would share our stuff, right? So we
Yeah.
would share like our readings and stuff and our own interpretations. And it seemed like there was a small group of ladies in that group who wanted to go through and kind of like police people
Yeah.
in their own interpretations. Like maybe you're not seeing it this way, or maybe you're seeing it this way. And to me, that is just such icky behavior.
Hmm.
Like, did they ask for your interpretation? I feel like tarot is most definitely a one-on-one communication with your higher self or
Yeah.
with whoever you're communicating. If you're using spirits or guides or whatever, that is your communication. It's not for anybody else to interpret unless you ask them to interpret and see what they would see out of it.
Exactly. I agree with that. I think, like you, I've crossed that line before,
I
and
have,
yeah,
definitely.
it's just not something that you, like myself, that I would want to do regularly anyway. Because I mean, it's just like you said. I view tarot the same way. It's a conversation with your higher self.
Isn't it almost like an elitism? Well, that's not really how it should be. And you know what I mean? It's all in how you present yourself also. For me, when I have, it's if somebody asks or if they're still learning, then I do that a little bit more. But I would say, well, listen, and it's not supposed to be, this is not supposed to be about this, but it is communication. Okay. But
Yeah,
if if somebody sees a card in a different way, that's okay.
it is
That
okay.
is okay. So when we police how somebody is a tarot reader or how somebody is a witch
Hmm.
or how
Hmm.
somebody chooses to grow their garden, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
That is an elitist point of view. That's not, you're not trying to be a community member.
Yeah.
You're policing other people and you're sticking your nose in where you shouldn't.
I've I think I've gone through stages in my the way that I've learned tarot. It's like when I first dove in, I was not very secure because I hadn't memorized the meanings, you know.
Yeah,
And I hear a lot of people say that, you know, well, grab the guidebook. There's nothing wrong with grabbing the guidebook because
right.
and I agree with that. And I
Me
also
too.
agree with, you know, learning the meanings, but it still comes down to you are still feeding the higher consciousness a vocabulary to work with. That's why you recognize symbols. That's why dreams are interpreted in a certain way. Certain symbols are communicated and they have a similar common meaning, but the conversation is still between you and your higher self and what connection you've made to the person you may or may not may be reading for. So there might be something in that reading that you might not be picking up because it might be for someone else, but
Right.
that's for the person that you've intended that reading for. You know, it's making that connection too. But just think that when people get so hung up on, well, that's not what that means, it takes away from the fact that it is communication with the consciousness that we have created that vocabulary for, and that's all it's got to work with.
Exactly. Now, see, we can have our preferences. I
Yeah.
have a
Mhm.
preference of what kind of person I'm going to allow to read for me, pure, plain, and simple,
Oh
because
yeah.
I see it, I take it very seriously. Okay.
Yes.
But I don't go out and say, huh, you're not a real tarot reader. I wouldn't
Mm,
never do that. You know why?
same. Yep.
Because that's not my place to say that. If the tarot cards are in front of you and you're reading them, and I don't care in what manner
Mm,
you're reading them, you're a tarot reader. Okay, you might not be someone that I will go to as a tarot
right.
reader, but you're a
Hmm.
tarot reader nonetheless. I'm
So
not going to police you.
I have a question for you then, while we're still on this topic of making people feel safe
Yeah.
and connection. So I don't have an answer for this. I was just contemplating it when we were talking about it, is with the boundaries thing. What if you have, you know, like you're in a conversation, it could be two or more people, but boundaries come up because someone is like, okay, well, hey, I have to tell you about my boundary here because this is something I'm not ready to deal with, so I have a boundary for that, whatever it is. And then
Hmm.
this person says, oh, well, you're kind of stepping on my boundary right now. What happens in a situation like that?
Well, I don't know. Everything is so contextual. So it depends on what the boundaries are. Because somebody can that's a hard one because if
Would that
you
be the time to say, all right, well, maybe we could revisit this another time, or let's just, what is that saying?
it's really the bigger question though, Sissy, because it depends. I mean, is having a conversation about other things your boundary? Well, then why are we even having a conversation? It's all about what the context is. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
contextual.
saying?
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, it would have to be a specific conversation, but I think that that happens a lot. That's why I bring it up, is because I see that a lot on social media. I think that's the black and white thinking right there.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Yes.
sometimes we have to pick our battles, and sometimes we just have to leave those battles because we know that it's just not going to go anywhere.
Well, I think that all depends on whether or not you want to have a relationship with somebody.
Oh, yes, that. Oh, that's a good one. That is
Because if
because
it's on my channel and it's something that I want to do on my channel, then nobody else's boundaries matter to me. It's my boundaries.
that's true.
Now, if I'm
But
going to somebody else's channel, then I have
yes,
to understand that they're going to be creating it on their channel within
yeah.
their boundaries.
Hmm.
And usually their morals and ethics are wrapped into that. So, their cultural upbringing, everything. But for me, if I want to have a relationship, I have to weigh whether or not,
Yes, it's worth it to even say anything, or
yeah,
yeah,
well, or to see if there's a way of working through it,
yes,
or
but
if it's something that we realize that we're just not a match to have a deep relationship, and it might be a surface level relationship, just like, oh, I hope you're, because you can. this is unconditional love, right? I
Yeah.
care about somebody. That doesn't mean they have to be in my everyday life. I still want to
Right.
see them do well. I
Yep.
still want to see them be happy and
Yeah.
fulfilled in their life, but that doesn't mean I want to be a part of it.
And I
Okay.
think it's okay to admit that I'm just not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
And then
But
growth,
does that mean that there's no more relationship there for a while?
nope.
It could be. It
Or
could
or
mean that.
or right. Yeah, yes. Or it could be that. Yes.
It could be either or. It's
I
all
think
so contextual.
I think it's like you and I talked about this earlier. It is the listening to respond, not listening to react.
Yes. Listening to be an active uh,
Participant.
participant in that conversation,
Yep. Yep.
not to automatically go, well, no, I don't agree, or be argumentative, or
Mm-hmm.
but also if you are sharing your opinion, you also have to have a stronger constitution, in my opinion, to listen to another person's counter opinion if they don't agree with
Yes.
you,
Yeah, that
right?
goes back to what we were just talking about with opinions. It's how we give them. It's how we
Accept them too.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Give and take, right?
yeah.
Everything is give and take.
Well, and
Everything in my
boundaries.
30 some year relationship doesn't mean I've been happy with every single aspect of our relationship. It's about
Right.
give and take.
Yes, yes. I agree. And sometimes that's why a good boundary comes in. Some things you are capable of doing and some things you're not ready for.
Yeah.
And so that boundary protects you until you are, if you ever are. But it's yeah, that was one of my biggest lessons over the last few years. And I'm still learning where I need a boundary. I mean, it's still,
Yeah. And you know what, Sissy? Those are going to continue to change and grow as we change and grow,
hmm
right?
absolutely. I mean, acknowledging and taking accountability every step of the way is what allows you to grow from every moment.
Yeah. I think sometimes the way that others see us too makes it very difficult because they expect you a certain way. And when you
hmm
veer from that, or you've grown, or you're just
Oh,
having a bad day, or whatever, people, depending on where they're at in their life, they can take it personally.
yep.
They just don't know, you know.
hmm
But people, most generally, I would say, are self centered. Not like, I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but I'm trying to say it as in they see how things affect them first,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know?
Definitely.
So, repair oriented communication. So connection deepens when misunderstandings are addressed. I think that communication is so friggin' important. So
It
let
is.
me tell you, Jim and I, when we were a younger couple, oh my
Uh-huh.
God, the things that we would fight over was raising our kids and the
Uh-huh.
bills.
Money.
Because, yeah, money and the rearing of the kids. Because the way that he was raised and his financial situation when he was growing up, he didn't see those things. We were very poor growing up, moving around a lot. We did not have stability like he did. And I mean, he still got friends that he had in grade school. No way would I don't have that because we moved so much, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And the way that mom raised us was so completely different than his two-parent household,
Yes.
and
Yep.
then his mother died. Anyways, the way that we would fight would get so bad because we would only hear from our own perspective. We wouldn't hear what the other person was truly saying or the intention that it was coming from. We had to learn how to truly communicate with each other. And you would think that it should just come easy with a couple that's been together, but it's not.
No,
It's
I know.
not. You got to work at it sometimes.
Mhm.
And so, misunderstanding, sometimes we couldn't even talk to each other. We would write letters to each other and just express everything and give it to each other because once we started fighting, one person would cut off the other person and it would get escalated. We'd start
Yep.
calling names. It was just terrible.
Yep.
Once we started writing notes to each other so that we could actually express how we were feeling when the
Yep.
other party said this or that, and then repeating what the other party said and how it made us feel, it changed everything. The dynamics of our relationship changed at that point.
Yep. I can totally get behind that. That's something that I learned in therapy for myself, actually. So that's excellent.
You know, apologies happen without justification. So one of the things that I hated growing up, in our family, well, I'm sorry that, you feel this way, but it's because you did this that it made me feel this way. No, I can't make anybody feel a certain way. That's on
Right.
them.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
But when you hear that enough as a child, well, I did this, or, I'm sorry if I overreacted, or I'm sorry if it hurt your feelings, but this is it's because you did this.
Mhm.
No, no. Just saying sorry. Just saying sorry. I apologize that it made you feel that way. End of. Don't try to justify it, right? Because
Yeah.
that's never truly an apology in my opinion. Um and corrections are welcomed. I had somebody tell me one time, I was like so grateful, honestly. But I have seen other people, when you correct them when they say a word incorrectly or spelled
Mhm.
miscorrectly, and they get so offended by it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But me, I remember making a video years ago, and it was on altars, like the very first altar I ever did. And somebody
Uh-huh.
said, "Well, I hate to tell you, but you even spelled altar wrong." I'm like, "Oh my God." Thank you. I'm like, "Thank you so much. You just saved me. You don't know." And I changed it, right? But I wasn't offended. I was grateful that they helped me see, because I didn't want to look like an idiot. You know what I mean? So I guess that's all ego and pride also, right? And seeing what somebody's intentions are for helping. They weren't trying to make me feel bad. They were just trying to show me.
That's a big that's a again, intentions are felt, and
Yes.
if it's someone that you're not familiar with, but if it's someone that does that on the regular, then I would think, okay, what's going on here? you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but back to the whole apology thing, sis. What also made me think of is the people that say I'm sorry all the time.
Yes.
I've gotten corrected for that, and well, what are you sorry for? Oh, I don't know. It was just something that I'm used to saying. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry. So again, it minimizes the meaning of that word, and that I can totally understand, where before I didn't, because
Yeah.
when you say I'm sorry, then it's probably good to say what you're sorry for, because it's too easy to say I'm sorry again without justification.
Yes, I can concur with that. Now, see, I do say I'm sorry a lot,
I do too.
but not as in an apology.
Right.
As in, I am so sorry for what you are going through. That's
Yep.
just part of my vocabulary because that's the
Hmm.
way I was raised.
Your friends
So,
know that, and they share that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, but somebody brand new might not. So,
Right.
yes, I get what you're saying
Hmm.
there.
Yep. Yep.
And yes, if you have it in you to just explain why you are sorry, yes, that is highly appreciated if you
Yeah.
truly are apologizing for something.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that is so much more sincere, isn't it?
I
Instead of
agree.
saying, well, it's because you made me feel this way that I
Exactly. Then you're not
reacted.
sorry. You're not
Right.
sorry. You're just telling them that, yeah, exactly.
You're just trying to make peace now instead of actually
Mhm.
apologizing for what went down.
Yep.
I
Yep.
agree.
And it's all learning. It's all a learning process. So,
Yes. So, a simple summary is no advice, just pattern. So, felt connection increases when communication is slower,
mhm.
hence, like long form communication, if we're talking about social media and
Yep.
media, which is what we are talking about.
Yep.
Um, Smaller.
Uh-huh.
So, in smaller groups, instead of like big, massive groups,
Mhm.
that connection is going to be felt more intimately, more deeply, I would say.
Mhm.
Mutual, there's got to be mutual. I need mutual exchange. Everything else is just surface level, okay?
Yep.
Embodied. So stand by what you say. Be embodied in that conversation. I always say this. I feel, I guess the word I would, instead of embodied, would be like actually be active in that conversation.
Yes.
You know what
Yep.
I mean? How many times have you talked to, and you might not experience this, but my man, he's wonderful. But there are just certain concepts. If I get really excited and I want to start talking to him, he'll just sit there and go, "Oh, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah." And his eyes are glassed over. He's not really paying attention. That's why those conversations don't happen very often because I know he's not invested in that conversation. And
Mm-hmm.
I do the exact same thing to him. It's not one sided. I do the exact
Right.
same thing to him with things that I have no interest in that he's really excited about. And we've just
Sometimes
learned
it
to,
takes effort. Yeah. Sometimes
yeah,
it
well,
takes
we've
a
learned to
little
accept
effort.
that about each other after
Right.
30 some years, right?
Yep. Absolutely. And that's again awareness of each other and being forgiving each other for what is.
Yes, absolutely. Story based, consent aware, responsive, and repair capable. It decreases when communication is optimized for reach. Does any of this sound familiar to people that have, you know, growing channels or are trying to
Mm,
have growing channels?
yep.
Optimized when your communication is optimized for reach, optimized for reaction,
Mm-hmm.
identity driven,
Yep.
adversarial,
Mm-hmm.
metric focused, and emotionally extractive. And I'm going to say it here. I see some of these channels that every video they do pretty much just seems like they are either calling somebody out or they are going after a whole group of people or they're trying to set themselves up as either an expert or they're trying to essentially be superior or like you're not really a witch if you don't do this, or I'm so tired of seeing these kind of trends, or this is my every once in a while I get it, but if that's what their whole thing is built on,
Mm-hmm.
their whole
Mm-hmm.
platform, either they're very like that in real life and I would not want to have a relationship with somebody like that,
Or it's performative.
or it is about getting the numbers because that's what the
Yes.
algorithm always pushes out.
Yes, the algorithm loves it. And some people are willing to play that game. And I mean, I get it. I
I
mean,
don't want to be known for that kind of
I
legacy.
don't either. I don't either. I like authenticity and saying how I feel about something, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be well received either. But I'm also aware of that.
So I know it's already been 53 minutes, but there's a whole other bit of stuff that I wanted to touch on. So now that we know that social media and media are actually very much culprits when it comes to breaking down community, breaking down true connection, what can we do? Because social media is not going anywhere. The media, the news is not going anywhere. So let's talk about some of the things that we can do. Are you okay with that, Sissy?
Yes, I am.
All right. So we shift from passive consumption to intentional use, which means the most damaging aspect isn't posting, it's scrolling without intention.
Mm,
Okay.
yep.
Realistic shifts. Open a platform with a purpose to reply, share, check messages. Leave once that purpose is completed. Avoid ambient scrolling when tired or emotionally raw, because I can't tell you how many times I've had relationships with other people, or not relationships, conversations with other people, and they just got done, and this is very common. They just
Mm-hmm.
got done watching some sort of video that really spurred them on, and then it caused them to go look at another video and another
Mm-hmm.
video, and then it
Been there,
filled
done
up
that.
their feed,
Yep.
and then they're just like for days in a funk,
Yep.
right?
Oh gosh, yes, been there. So been there.
Me too. Me
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yep.
We have to consciously be intentional about what we consume and know what kind of
Mm-hmm.
effects that kind of stuff leaves on us, right?
Yep.
Is
Yep.
it something productive that we're doing, or is it something that's counterproductive in our lives?
Yeah. Most times it's counterproductive if it's taking up hours You know
Yeah,
what
and you're dreaming about it. You having
Yes.
nightmares about it. You're
Yeah.
stressed over it. It's
Yeah.
just it's not worth it.
Know thyself. Know thyself.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So
a disclaimer though, remember what we said at the beginning. We're not teaching, we're just sharing, you know,
methods. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Take what serves and leave what don't.
right on. Um, do you see the next one, which is curate inputs ruthlessly?
Oh, yes, yes. So curate inputs ruthlessly, not
Yes.
ideologically. So this isn't about silencing disagreement, it's about nervous system hygiene.
Amen.
Big time. So what you can do is mute accounts that trigger constant outrage,
Yep.
even if they agree with them. So
Yep.
that's something I have to hold myself accountable for. I know if I'm seeing it, well, then I need, you know what I mean? And I know that I know myself enough to know, oh, I guess I'm probably going to watch it.
And does it serve you to do that?
No, no, it does not. So reducing exposure to repetitive crisis content, unfollow tone, not ideas.
Yep.
So the goal is emotional balance, not correctness.
Yep. Exactly. When you leave somebody's channel, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel empowered and uplifted? Or does it make you feel angry and divisive and wanting to go after other people or spread your opinion? You know what I mean? And is it causing anxiety? Is it increasing cortisol or cortisone in your body, which then causes physical problems? I don't know this for you. I can only
Exactly.
answer for myself.
Yep. And I think too that that doesn't make a channel that does that to you a bad channel. It just
Right.
means that you're not ready for that information, or that information isn't something that you need to have a positive attitude for many of reasons. It could be you don't you're not on the same page. You're not thinking the same way, and that's all it is.
Well, I mean, for me, this is what I'm thinking. You know how some people, first thing in the morning, they will make their list of things that they need to accomplish in that day. Okay.
Mhm.
And then something comes across your feed. And most of us, that's when we're doing it, is first thing in the morning, and unwinding, drinking our coffee, at least the best that I know. At least
Mhm.
that's what I do. I can only speak for myself here.
Yeah.
Um, and then I start seeing stuff. And it can change the pace of my entire day if I
That
let
is
it.
absolutely, but you know that about yourself, and you're holding yourself accountable.
Right. So
Hence, create a
I
boundary.
choose. What's that?
I said, hence, create a boundary for yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. So engage in fewer, deeper exchanges. Connection comes from response, not volume.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like how much time are you spending? How much are you giving of yourself? How much are you leaving for yourself? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yep.
Inside platforms, people can comment thoughtfully on fewer posts.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I've talked about. If you are somebody that gets lots of comments, and that is valid, where you cannot keep up with your comment section, I get it,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
And either you don't have the spoons or whatever. It would be so easy. If you're on social media, one comment is easy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You go on and you make a comment stating, listen, I do not have the time right now, or I don't have the emotional, um, I'm just in a different place right now, and I cannot reply to every single one of you as much as I want to. I have time restraints, but
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you being here. When I
Yep.
have time, I read through your comments and pin that comment to the top so that people
Mm-hmm.
realize that you are at least acknowledging that they've been there.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, if something changes, take the darn comment off and start replying. I mean, it's just yeah.
And if somebody comes to your channel And this is just my own opinion, but I think it's a very community based opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody comes to your channel and you're saying, well, I am reading, I really love, even though I don't reply to them, I really love seeing your comments and they make my day brighter. Okay, I get that. But then if you have read it, heart it. It takes one split second to heart that comment that you just read that just brightened your day. So give that exchange back. That is what community is. Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes, at least I'll notice some of my favorite content creators, if they can't get to the comment, they'll at least like it and heart it or whatever,
Heart it.
and then I know I'll
Yes.
see a comment later or whatever. I appreciate that. I think I would definitely like to start that myself, just because sometimes I won't open up my analytics or whatever, my YouTube studio, and try to respond to comments, because I don't want to get involved in it, and so I will
Yes.
ignore it for a little bit, just because I don't want someone to see one comment, that, because I only had time to, you know what I mean? And then I didn't have
Yes.
time for the other ones. I didn't want that. So I try to do it all at one time. But at least I could start doing that. So that's a small commitment that I can make, is just at least get it liked and hearted. And then I promise I will get back to commenting.
And see here, that's the thing for me. Sometimes, I mean, most generally, I do reply, and sometimes it might be a week, sometimes it might be 2 weeks later. It's just whenever I have time,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people only see that you're making a video; they don't see the rest of the busyness that you have going on in your life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or just the emotional state that you're in. All
Right.
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 And sometimes it can be overwhelming. Okay. Most definitely it can be overwhelming. But
Mm-hmm.
that's why just acknowledging just something simple. If you say that you are actually reading the comments,
Mm-hmm.
it only takes a second to go through and heart them.
Exactly. I agree with that. Yep. Yep.
Acknowledging that somebody was there for you. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Um, Imply to individuals rather than addressing everyone. I agree and disagree. I think whatever you have time for is acceptable as long
Yeah.
as you let people know that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Uh, Let conversations end naturally instead of prolonging them.
Mm-hmm.
So depth beats visibility. So, yes, I say
Yep.
that. I say yes. I am a chatter, obviously. Some of my friends are like, oh, yeah. I was just talking with Tony the other day, and she said that her husband had said, oh, I heard that girl's voice, that woman's voice, meaning me,
Yeah.
and knew that they were going to be on the phone for a long time. So he left. So
Oh
my
yeah.
bad.
Yep. Bob knows those things too. He just, yep. It's good. It's good. He doesn't do it out of anger, nothing like that.
Right. We
He just,
need that time sometimes, though.
yes, yes, and he's never begrudging of that, ever.
Yeah. So use I language and lived experience. This is a huge one,
I agree.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This reduces polarization without avoiding real topics. So instead of declarations,
Yeah.
like we're making a call to action here, this is,
Right.
I'm just,
Yep.
or verdicts on something,
Yep.
or generalizations, which, yes, I'm very much yeah, when I talk, I generalize, which,
I do too.
because of the way I was raised and the way we were taught to.
Mm-hmm.
But,
We're
um,
still works in progress. We're still learning.
of course, we're not perfect by any means.
Mm-mm.
People can use what I've noticed. So
I.
what I've noticed is,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep. Yep.
what this has been like for me,
Uh-huh.
instead of, well, if I experience this, then you must also, you know what I mean? This
Right.
must be your truth also, or how I experience this.
Yep.
This keeps communication human rather than adversarial.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So refuse the pace without leaving the platform. So not everything needs an immediate response. Some realistic practices are waiting before replying to charged content,
Hmm. Yes.
drafting responses and not posting them,
Yeah, so journal away.
Oh yeah, I've done that plenty of times. I'll be like,
Oh, me
oh, read
too.
through it or rewatch it or whatever, and just be like, nope, delete. That's not going up there.
Yep.
Letting urgency pass before engaging. Again, listening to respond, not react.
Yeah.
Slowness breaks algorithmic momentum without grand gestures.
Right. So we're seeing a lot of people that are complaining about the shorts and about people's attention spans being shorter. Then stop watching the damn shorts. 'Cause
Take
every time you
accountability.
watch the shorts, you are leading to that. And
Yes.
amen. I do the same thing
Yeah.
sometimes. I do it.
Hmm.
I am guilty. Guilty is charged.
Yeah.
But knowing that that's what our activity is doing, it's keeping it live.
Yeah. I think that, when we talk about the algorithm and the beast that it can be, um, there's marketing engineers, brilliant people that are behind this that see what people are consuming.
Yep.
So if anyone's creating the algorithm, it's us. If we
Yeah.
want to change it, we have to be the ones to change it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So balance online interaction with off platform anchors.
Well, hang on just a minute.
Oh,
Let me
go
go
ahead.
back to that.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
when we were talking about waiting before replying to charged content,
Hmm.
so when you see one of those videos one of those videos that is really designed to get people divided in the tarot community or witchy community or whatever,
Hmm.
and it just really upsets you, right?
Yeah.
Just wait. Don't
Yeah.
reply. Just wait. Give it time to gestate. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is it
Yeah.
worth even replying and giving somebody your energy? Is that how we give our energy away? I
No,
think
in
so.
in fact, I actually did a video and totally went through the process of editing it, uploading it, sent it to you, and you were like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then I rewatched it again. I'm like, "No, delete, delete, delete." And then I created a new one, which still held the opinion, but the opinion was given again, not in a confrontational way. It was given to hopefully prompt consideration, not
Yes.
not to say this is how it is. No,
Right.
but I had to like rein it in. But I will tell you that the first video was extremely therapeutic.
It was good. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
the cuss words were,
yeah,
a lot more prevalent. I think the second one was way better and
yeah,
more accessible for other people to respond to.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But man, getting it off of your shoulders was just like, oh,
And I think that's the difference too. I could have seen all, I mean, because I would say this one was received well, but I could
Yes.
see the other one. I probably could have gotten some nasty comments, and I could see not that I deserved that, but I could actually it would have been a little bit more understandable because it was extremely confrontational.
Yes, exactly. Because you were in that energy. You were
Yeah,
pissed, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what happened? Just like you said, I waited, gave it thought, gave it consideration, and did I want my opinion to be heard? I did, only because there is there's a whole other side to what is being pushed out there, and I don't
Oh
mind
yeah.
being the person that brings that small voice to that playground, because the other side of it is really big, and there's a big narrative being pushed on that.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was worth it to at least throw my perspective out there.
Absolutely. And believe it or not, there's so many people that do believe exactly like you do. The numbers don't lie. If you
Yeah,
go on Etsy and you see all of the AI decks that are being sold,
yeah,
it's massive.
yeah,
It's
it is.
just they're not telling people on YouTube because people are nasty about it. Okay.
Yep. And
That's
the
why.
artwork that was in our projects was like a third of the project.
If even that. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like people discredit the whole work and just want to focus on that because that's what they got
Right.
beef with. They take away from the what it was meant to serve. You know what I mean? What your
Yes.
whole
Yeah.
vision is getting misconstrued because of someone else's perception, and it definitely wasn't mine. So I mean, they're allowed to have their own opinion and their own perception of it, but it's I don't share that, and that's not the point I was going for when it comes to what I wanted to represent. And I know that's not what you were going for,
Right. Yeah.
also. So, I mean,
I
whatever.
mean, I
Like
got
you
one
said,
bad comment and several sales from it, so it is what it is,
exactly. The
right?
royalty check doesn't lie, does it?
Right. Exactly. It was about actually putting out a service for people
Yeah.
that are interested in true sidereal astrology. And I've been asked for years, well, why don't you do something like this? And it's just such a big undertaking. There's so
Yeah.
much tracking that has to be done. It
Yeah.
was so many sleepless nights and just bags under my eyes and
Hmm.
just going a little bit crazy because it's all like charts and it's just a lot of work. People don't realize. And I did it in a very short period of time because I made the like a last minute friggin', decision to do it.
Yeah. And there's no other planner out there like it.
For somebody to come in and say, well, who's
Yeah.
never ever been to my channel before, never ever supported me in any
Uh-huh.
way,
Yeah.
just to knock me down.
Yeah.
And
We're just
that
going to
particular
hone in on
account,
those few pictures that were put in there out of this immense book. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what is your intention? What is your
Exactly.
communication style?
Yeah. She
You're
called
just
herself
trying to
out.
shame me. Well,
Yeah.
good luck with
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
So now you can continue, Sissy. Sorry, I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, so the next thing was balance online interaction with off platform anchors. And we definitely do that.
Yes.
So connection can't live in one place only. People can maintain a few private conversations, text, calls, email, uh, prioritize voice or face to face when possible.
Right on.
Keep relationships that aren't mediated by public performance. This stabilizes identity outside of the feed. And you know what? That is another thing that I notice. It's like when you have these communities outside of the big platform like YouTube, even if someone tries to push a narrative about you, the people behind the scenes already know.
Uh-huh.
And so you're only going to go so far with it, especially if you don't know. If you're on the don't know, well, then believe me, you just don't know.
Right.
It's again, it's those
Exactly.
assumptions. And yeah, but I'm
Exactly.
grateful for the other communities because YouTube is not a community.
No, it's not a community builder.
No,
Mm-mm.
not at all.
So note. Oh,
Yeah, that's it. Go. Yeah.
okay. Notice when the platform is driving emotion. So a simple internal check. Is this making me more present or more reactive? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said earlier, how does it make you feel after watching somebody's video? Does it
Yep.
make you feel good? Does it make you feel complete? Does it make you feel inspired? Does it empower you, or
Yep.
does it make you question yourself? You know, those are things. Is somebody gatekeeping something and making you feel like you're less than if you read spreads versus being a free form? Okay, and
Yeah.
is it more advanced to be a free form reader, or is it more? Who friggin' cares?
Mm-hmm.
Really, who cares?
Yeah. You
That's
can always
pushing an
tell.
agenda.
You can always tell if they're coming from that elitist hierarchy type
Yes,
energy that well, I am this, and
exactly.
this group is pushing this agenda just like you said, and we're the popular kids, so you better listen.
Yeah, exactly. Remind you of anything? Huh? High
Yes,
school, maybe?
a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
So when reactivity spikes, step away briefly, switch tasks, and change sensory input. So movement, light, sound, get yourself out of that energy. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
Don't take it any further. This is regulation. It's not avoidance. It's not spiritual bypassing. It's not
Mm-mm.
any of those things. It's called survival. It's about
Yeah.
knowing what is right for you. Okay.
Yep.
And you have to come first. You have to put your own air mask on first.
Mm-hmm. Yes. In my opinion, like we talked about with the Tower of Babel, um, instinctually, we are looking for connection. And so when we use our platform to tell people what they want, you have to know your state of mind to know if that's really what you want, or if you are easily manipulated because of what it is you're going through in your life. If you're looking for validation of how you feel, if you want to stay in a certain energy, you will find it on social media.
Oh
You will
gosh,
get
yes.
exactly what you're looking for. So what you put your energy into is what will come back to you, because it is that social media is that. It's not connection, it is a semblance. It's just like you said in the very beginning, it is a fragmentation.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. It's the carrot, but it's not really what we're hungry for.
Exactly. Not really.
Mm-mm.
That's just like it's like a side piece. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah, yeah,
that's
exactly.
terrible. That's what it is though. That's a crass way of saying it, I suppose, but
Yeah.
that's not substance. That's like flirtation,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, and we can fight that again, by knowing ourselves, to know exactly what we need. That is the only way, is to know yourself and know exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And you will find fulfillment, you know.
Yeah. So resist identity compression. Ceci, you want to touch on that?
Platforms reward simplified selves. People can allow contradictions,
Mm,
avoid turning every belief into a badge,
yeah.
leave some thoughts unposted, and
Yeah.
not everything needs to be declared to exist.
Right.
Goodness gracious, that's been my journey on YouTube. So,
So for me, I think I started off wanting to be this, I had to be heard, blah, 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 blah,
oh
blah.
yeah, yeah,
And the whole reason you made that video, sis, was because of the way that somebody had commented. I mean, you had been
yeah,
feeling it already, but
uh huh,
because they had commented under my video,
uh huh, yep,
it just totally pissed you off,
uh huh,
right? And so you wanted to be heard, of course.
yep, yep.
But what was my response to why I didn't respond any further to her?
You already knew that did not deserve your time.
It
It did
wasn't worth
not
my
deserve
time.
your energy. And
Exactly.
you were, yes, you definitely handled it very well. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not gonna, like, punish myself.
No, 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 no. I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
I
that
know that's
either.
not where you were going with that. I'm just saying I definitely didn't have to comment at all. I
Right.
did get some satisfaction from that.
Right.
I
I
would,
got some satisfaction from your comments too. Thank you.
yeah, because I don't think that also calling it out is not bad,
No.
you know. And
But if that's
obviously,
all you do on your channel is call
exactly.
that shit out.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get what you give.
Right.
You're gonna get that energy. So, and again, I was motivated to create a very confrontational video, and that has been my journey on YouTube to this point. So, I mean, I'm still, like, I'm definitely not teaching or preaching. I'm presenting because,
And sharing. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
My audience, I am right there with you. Fellow YouTubers, I am right there with you.
Me too. I know what
So,
it's like.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. Not everything needs to be declared to exist. Also, because listen, how many times have people said, "Well, oh my gosh, their aesthetic is so witchy. They probably don't do any kind of witchcraft, or I don't see anything. They don't share any of their stuff, so they can't really be a witch,
Hmm.
or because somebody doesn't share their practice means they're just fake."
Uh-huh.
Or, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Come on now. But
Yeah.
is it really my battle? I could give a shit less. Okay.
No, you're exactly right. It's not. And honestly, those are the things that don't really like trigger me like that comment did. It was the fact that this is an ongoing discussion, and I just know what an artist is, and I think people lose sight. They
Yes.
lose sight of the simplest things. You know, just like when we did the elemental foundations that Star put out there. We and you even talked about it. It's like sometimes we just forget.
Yeah. Or we
What
take for granted. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was hoping that even though my voice is small, that, somebody would consider that, we are all artists. Even a content creator is an
It's an
artist.
artist. Absolutely.
It's people don't see what goes on behind the work. I'm actually grateful for the people that show their work up to that point, but you're still creating content to show that it's all artistry, all of it. It's all creation, content creation, creator.
Yeah.
We're expressing ourselves. And I'm just, we don't need to cut each other down. We don't need to shame each other because we don't fit someone else's mold of what that idea is.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
I would rather use my platform to lift others than shame them.
Yeah. Another one is practicing repair publicly when needed. So, when misunderstandings happen, clarify calmly, apologize simply, and disengage when repair isn't possible.
Hallelujah.
So, I agree with that. Do the best that you can in order to make amends. And if you cannot make amends, then leave it behind because
Mm-hmm.
that person is not willing to accept it. You've done whatever you can do in order to make things right. That person's not in that energy in order to accept it. So you're wasting your time. Right?
Well, I got something to add to that.
Let's hear it.
One thing I noticed a couple years ago, I had a lady very mad at me about a short that I had created. And she was not wrong. It was in poor taste, the effects I used on it, all of it. And so as soon as she brought it to my attention, granted, she didn't do it she was malicious and her intentions were not good,
Right.
but she wasn't wrong. So I took the content down and then I apologized. Now, a friend of mine behind the scenes said, YouTube don't like apologies. I'm like, what? And she was so right. And I thought that is so sad. But that right there tells everyone right there. What does it say? The algorithm, we create the algorithm. And what does that mean
Mhm.
when someone doesn't want an apology? It means they want to sit in their misery.
Yep.
They want to
They
be
want to be the victim.
they
Yeah.
want to be angry. So, okay, so what does that say? If YouTube in general doesn't like apologies, it do we have to abide by that? Do we keep feeding the
No.
algorithm monster? Do we? No.
No.
That's
We
what
still
this
do it
that's the
regardless.
idea. We're never going to change the algorithm to the way that it actually is serving us until we try to make those positive changes. And this is where it
Right.
starts. This is where it starts, making
One
these little
person.
conscious little efforts. And that's all it is. It's just an effort. No matter if we tell ourselves we can't do it, well, then we're not going to do it. If we tell ourselves we can do something, well, then we're going to do something.
Yeah. And then the last one, Sissy.
Uh,
Accepting limits without cynicism.
oh, yeah. Okay. So that is no, not one individual can fix the system, kind of like what we were just talking about.
Right.
But what is possible is reducing personal harm,
Yeah.
preserving that relational health, keeping perspective, maintaining humanity inside constraints. And that's not passive, it's adaptive. Again, it's the only way that we're going to make any change. We're
Yeah.
not going to set out and go, oh, I'm going to change the algorithm right now. But every little effort is going to count. as long as we don't give up and we don't let, again, social media be the one that as a whole is the one calling the freaking shots. Well, this is the way the algorithm is. I it's unbelievable. Well, you don't want to do that because YouTube is gonna just squelch you or shadow you, ban you or whatever. Oh, okay, so that's gonna keep me from doing the right thing, right?
Well, you have to ask yourself, weigh everything. Everything is about balance. Is it worth my time? Okay. Is it going to affect what I want to achieve on my channel? I don't look at everything like I am the sole fixer of humanity, okay?
Right.
All my opinions do not need to be expressed. So I pick and choose what's important to me. So when you say doing the right thing, what is the right thing? Okay?
Whatever that right thing is for you, because again, you're the one that's accountable.
Right,
And
exactly.
you're gonna get what you give, energy
Exactly.
wise. So
Yes.
yeah, the right thing, I think, like, again, is just, what are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah. Inside these systems, people, they cannot control the algorithms, they cannot control the incentives, and they cannot control platform economics, but they can control the pace in which they consume, the
Mm-hmm.
tone in which they speak, the
Yep.
scale in which they consume,
Mm-hmm.
the attention that they give, where they put their focus,
Yep.
having clear boundaries. So when people do come in, yes, being asshats and leaving comments for no other purpose than to shame you. It's just so easy to go block and hide from your channel. And you know what? It's also going to block all their other IP addresses. So
Right.
that person was not somebody. I guess it's about weighing,
Yeah.
unless it's a comment that you want other people to see what
Right.
an
And it,
ass hat someone's going to be,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
um and how much of your nervous system gets handed over, how much are you giving away of your own personal autonomy, your personal power, you know
Yeah.
block is your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's your space. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for blocking or not participating in something or participating in something. You know what I mean? It's your
Yeah.
space.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah. Understanding that most interactions and communication is a direct result of you. What you convey is a direct result of you. And that goes for the other party that you're communicating with. You can it takes more than one. So
yeah.
understanding that you're not accountable for theirs, but you are accountable for yours.
Yeah. Listen, connection doesn't come from abandoning technology. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
We need to learn to deal with it. So it comes from refusing to let it dictate how we treat ourselves and each other. So just because you
Yeah.
might think that you are anonymous, because a ton or anonymity, oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. If somebody thinks, listen, this is going to be a fake account or this is another account that I use for, just being a dick,
Yeah.
that I don't really put stuff on. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to make a comment. I hope that you remember that there are human beings behind
Yeah.
these channels.
Mm-hmm.
We're not machines, even though we
Mm-hmm.
might use AI technology and some of the things that we do, we're still human beings.
Yep.
Okay. And if
Yep.
we keep that in mind when we are communicating with other people and their feelings, right?
Yep.
It is that kind of stuff that is taking the actual connectivity and unison out of humanity is algorithms.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And that, we don't have control over the algorithm. I think that personally we do. It's just that, we feed it. The monster is created and then we feed it and it gets bigger because the people that are, you know, understand marketing and they understand what sells, they see that division sells. They see what that,
Right.
because we we have we have a lot of trauma. Most people do, and if I think that's why certain things affect us in the media, because it pulls on that, your ideals and your morals, and then we get into that black and white thinking, and instead of trying to see it from someone else's side, that narrow perspective, we fight to stay in that. It's almost like if we give in, then are we like betraying ourselves? I don't see it that way, but I think some people might,
Mm,
by not wanting to see that there's always two sides of that coin,
yeah.
almost feels like a betrayal to their own morals or whatever. And
Yeah.
I understand that, but I mean, I think there is a pretty good size portion of us that don't think that way.
Right.
And I think that those are the people that can maybe attempt to change that algorithm monster a little bit at a time.
It's
Chip
all
away,
in how we react to things, though,
chip,
Sissy. That's
chip
the whole
away at it.
thing. That's the whole thing, though. Although I do not agree with how I personally think AI technology is not going anywhere. So it would be smarter for us to have a little bit of foresight and use it rather than get left behind. I understand it's scary for people that are
Mm-hmm.
artists and they have done everything in a slower pace, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, this is the way of the world. Technology is changing. Either you get on with it or you are going to be a victim of it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be crass about it, but it's the truth.
I can see that because we AI did not create itself. We
We did.
created AI, and
Right.
AI learns from us. So again, like, we feed our consciousness and it only has a limited vocabulary to work with. That's the same with AI. If you want to participate in the evolution, well, then participate in the evolution of it, because just like you said, it's not going anywhere.
No, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The internet didn't go anywhere.
No.
Online buying from
Yeah.
stores didn't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Microwave ovens didn't go anywhere. Driving in cars didn't go anywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, it is progression. It is progression. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of being so against it, learn how you can work with it within your morals. But the biggest thing for me is I don't go to other people's channels when they talk major shit about people that are using it and then just knock them down in their comment section. But they
No.
sure do come over to my comment
Yep.
section. So
Exactly.
it's about
Exactly.
reflection and how
I
we
agree.
react to people and allowing people to have their own choices, make their own mistakes and or have their own successes.
I agree. I agree. So it's like, if inevitably, if we come to the conclusion that we can't change the algorithm, that's like having, okay, so we can't change the algorithm. Well, then understand it for what it is. That means that, again, it's presented like the carrot, but it's not really what you're hungry for. So what are you using social media for? If it's for connection, well, then seek true connection, because it's available.
Yes, it is. Just be honest with yourself why you're using it.
Yes.
Okay. And that will free you. Okay.
Yes. Free your mind and the rest will follow.
Right. I think we have spoke long enough on this one, sis.
I think so too.
My throat's hurting. I got a frog in my throat,
Yeah, yeah. All righty then. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Hopefully, you've shared lots of comments in the chat. Since this is live, hopefully, we're sharing right along with you and talking with you. And we got another one coming, which is, what's the next one going to be on, sis? Do you remember what that was?
um it's
Community.
either community. Actually, I think we kind of touched on that though, don't you? Did
I
we
think so.
really touch on community?
Yeah,
So
because community is not YouTube. So yeah, you're right.
probably neurodiversity then.
Yeah, that
in
sounds.
regards to like communication styles and understanding
Yeah,
that some people really truly are neurodivergent
yeah,
and they don't, and especially in our community there's probably a lot of neurodivergence.
yeah. Just bring
So
some awareness to that. Yeah.
yes, in
So
relation to communication and the
yes,
Tower of Babel, right?
yes,
Because it's all off
absolutely.
of that.
Yes, yes.
And then the last one was going to be on
Labeling and stuff, right?
and gatekeeper stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and yeah, all in
The
regards
ways
to,
that we divide ourselves.
yes, the true, like a lot of these channels that really push out a narcissistic agenda,
Yes,
and our
truly,
journey
that's
back
what
to
it
each other
is.
and why it was so important that we went through that journey.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we, recognizing things for what they are is so important.
Yeah.
To see it in our own behavior.
Right on. All
Oh,
right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We
yep.
love you.
We love you, and we will talk again soon. Bye bye.
Bye now.